We're going to kick things off with talking about our market minute, condos versus single family homes. I want to show you the 5 benefits that condos might have over single family homes. That's our market minute. Then we're going to get into the content. I'm bringing on my guest and friend, Trevor Schmidt. We're talking about these 5-year adjustable rate mortgages and how all the loans in 2020 and 2021, they're coming due and they're going to bump the interest rate, and how investors are navigating this interest rate change that's impending on huge commercial buildings, even small as duplexes, threeplexes, fourplexes. And I'm going to end telling you about a little tool, a hack that I like to use that I think can improve your life. This is the Midwest Invest Report. All right, gang, welcome to the Midwest Invest Report. I'm happy to have you listening to the show again. You guys, you know, I'm your host, Kyle Reedstrom. I've been in this real estate game for a while. You guys, we're excited to bring you each week the Midwest Invest Report, which is a deep dive into your real estate market of Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo, and beyond. We love this market. We live and breathe this market. And I want to bring everything I know about real estate investing and all the things that are happening in our market in concerns to real estate to you on this show. You guys get the deal. And here's the fun part. We also send out a weekly email. It's called the Midwest Invest Report newsletter. And I want you to be a subscriber on that. So if you're checking out this video and you're not a subscriber yet, show notes below, check it out. We're putting awesome content on there. I'm very involved in putting that information together. And so I would love for you guys to be on our subscriber list. And we're putting value in conversation and freebies and all the good stuff on there. So definitely join our list there. But today's show, you guys, I'm excited about what we got cooking. I want to start it off with our market minute. And I've had some recent conversations with people, several people now, about condos in Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo. Condos are starting to get to be more and more common. I'm seeing more and more of them. I went on our market. I just opened it up over here on the MLS, and I looked and said, hey, how many condos are available in our market? There are 96 condos for sale in our Fargo Moorhead market right now. 96. No one would have guessed that, because our entire inventory of homes in Fargo is like 1,000. You guys, 10% of our stuff is condo listings. And so I wanted to have a little fun with this. I wanted to wage the battle, condos versus single family homes. I think a lot of people that are listing probably live in the single family home. A lot of people are proponents of that. That's the most common buyer pool we have. But condos have their place. And so I wanted to have some fun with it. I went to good old AI. AI is everything, artificial intelligence, everywhere in the news. And I wanted to ask AI, hey, what are the benefits of it living in a condo versus a single family house? I kind of wanted to use what they had to say and talk through it myself for my own knowledge. So I'm bringing you into this. AI's top 5 reasons why a condo can be better than a single family. There's 5. Lower maintenance, amenities, affordability, location, community, and security. Okay, that's the quick rundown, but I'm going to dive into these. Okay, so a lot of people love the idea of a homeowners association and not having to take any care of anything for convenience. That's point number 1, low maintenance. Share the responsibility of common areas and reduces your individual upkeep. So really, these places are plug and play. As you hear in real estate, turnkey properties, you literally turn the key, live in the property. Once you turn the key to leave, that's all you have to worry about. That's definitely on the upswing for the generations that are coming into the homeowner market are more interested in convenience. So I think some of these condos we're seeing for sale are interesting. This could be more and more of a common thing for point number 1. Point number 2, amenities. You guys, a lot of people in apartment living are now used to the amenities that apartments provide. And when I think of amenities with a condo, it's having everything you need in one place. This is very much how cities are built. They really build small ecosystems within larger cities. That's what apartments are doing now. And now we're seeing that as part of condos. where when you're at your house, you have to leave to do anything like go to the gym, to meet with someone at a coffee shop. You have to go somewhere else to be entertained or rent space. And some of these condos have amenities and facilities like swimming pools, like fitness centers, like community rooms. They even sometimes have concierge services like a hotel would. You guys to up the quality of lifestyle and create even more convenience and amenities for you as a value to the place that you're buying. So they definitely have that over single family homes. Affordability and location. This one's interesting, you guys, because when I look at a lot of the listings here, and I would go and type in a price change of under 300,000, sorry, I drop off about 2/3 of the list. So affordability is an interesting thing. So that puts us at about 30, 35, 40 of these that are less than 300,000 in price. And so affordability is still a question mark. A lot of these condos are still pretty expensive in comparison to something you can get with a single family home and a yard. But the locations of these are generally in a place where they're in affordable areas. They're in areas that have a lot of amenities around them. And, some of these are in the more popular areas of town. In our local market, we just had our first condo, The Lights on Cheyenne in West Fargo, built in that market, West Fargo. So it's interesting to see condos start to make their way into some of those markets like West Fargo. But generally, these are in locations that are desirable as well. A lot of condos exist downtown for people. That's when I think of condos, that's what I think of. But they're stretching. There's some down on 32nd Avenue now, and there's the West Fargo ones I mentioned. So if those prices can stay affordable, it's definitely something to compare single-family houses to. The fourth one is interesting. This was a sense of community. And I wouldn't have thought of this one, except I recently had a client that's been asking about condos, which is why I wanted to bring it for our Market Minute, that said, I really don't like living by myself. I've always just lived in apartments, and I think a condo would be a great fit because I'm used to living in community with others. And that point really took me by surprise. I never had thought of that. I mean, we're communal human beings. And so having a community that you live with, even though, yes, you're stacked and there's someone living on top of you and the sides of you, can actually be a positive thing. And so that was a really interesting point. If you're looking for more community, more people to socialize and engage with, like tighter knit than everybody that lives in a single family house with fences and yards. And, I can imagine where a condo has that over single family neighborhoods in some senses, right? Especially in bigger cities. Maybe in smaller towns, I could see neighborhoods being tighter knit, but that's an interesting point. And the fifth point, to kind of round off our condo versus single family battle, you guys, security and peace of mind. I definitely think some of these buildings, when it comes to like safety, security, these buildings are on lock. There's definitely a high level of security. And this can really help you when you're gone a lot from your property. If you really want to make sure everything's taken care of, the heat's always on. There's a lot of cleaning, upkeep, there's eyes on the building. Whereas if you leave a single family house, it's just like, however long you're gone, you're going to come back to, I always say houses that are used are better than empty houses. Empty houses can have problems sometimes. So there's that, that security and peace of mind piece that could be arguably better than single family houses. So bringing you into a little Market Minute and outlook into condos, and something that I think is really unique to think about as a place where you could live, especially the younger generation. If you're traveling for work or you just want to travel more often in general, a set it and forget it type of residence could be a really cool option. Something to think about, condos versus single family homes. That's our Market Minute. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's content. All right, you guys, as I mentioned, I want to get in the weeds a little bit on these adjustable rate mortgages. So I want to set the stage. And in fact, Trevor, I want to introduce you first. We got a guest on the show today. I brought in Trevor Schmidt with American Federal Bank in town. Trevor's a commercial lender. He's out there helping investors. He's helping businesses. Guys, this is the go-to for these commercial style loans. And so I think he has an interesting expertise to provide about these mortgage rate expirations. But Trevor, just to set the stage, I'll maybe let you intro yourself a little bit in your own words, and then I want to hear like, what is this all about? What are these 5-year arms that everybody's like, hey, in the next couple of years, they're going to be coming due? Set the stage for us a little bit on what might be about happening.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, like you said, my name is Trevor Schmidt. I'm a commercial lender here with American Federal Bank. Also have some investment properties myself. Before working at the bank, I was actually a real estate agent for about 7 years in the area. So switch sides of the table now. But as I'm sure everyone has seen in the headline, there's this buzz around all this debt that is coming due, right? You see this trillions of dollars of commercial debt that is coming due. So well, what's different about the structure of a lot of these commercial loans versus like a primary home residence is if you go and buy you're going to buy a home that you and your family are going to live in, right? You're going to get a 30-year mortgage more than likely, and that rate is going to be fixed for that 30 years. So everyone that bought in 21, 22, beginning of 22, like they're loving it right now. That's why we have very low inventory, right? Because most people are sitting with a 3%, 4%, some under that percent rate on their mortgage. And that rate is fixed for 30 years unless they, were to refinance that. Well, a lot of this commercial debt, even though it may be amortized out for 20 to 25 years, the initial fixed rate period is only for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is these investors in 2020, 2021, when they're looking at purchasing properties, they're running their pro formas, they're working off debt that's cost them, on a commercial side, maybe 4%. Well, now in the next year, 2 years, that debt service is a lot higher.
Yeah.
So the pro formas might not be looking so good. It may not cash flow as much. So what's going to happen is we're starting to have a lot of conversations of, does this make sense? Are people going to start selling these properties? What are they going to do? Are they going to have to bring cash in? The cap rate isn't where it needs to be, so the values may drop because of that. So that's kind of a broad view of what's happening in the conversation that investors are having or about to have with their lenders.
Yeah, dude, thank you for setting that stage because this is a really big swing. Okay, I just did a little math. I have a little mortgage calculator on my phone. So I did $1 million. Let's say somebody bought a Plex for $1 million and they put 25% down, Trevor, something you see commonly. At a 4% interest rate, roughly speaking, that's like $5,500 a month. Okay. And if let's say my 5 years fixed is coming up, and now I'm going to jump to, like what rates are you talking about right now, Trevor, with if I had $1 million property I was buying?
I mean, let's say 7 for easy. If you're
Yeah,
a
7.
strong guarantor, it could be under that. If not, it could be over that. But 7's probably a good number.
Yeah, so I jump it up to 7 real time on here. And I was just my business was rolling, everything was normal at 4%, and now just because my expiration, my payment jumps from 5,500. I'm looking at 6,900. That's $1,400 a month difference. And if my cash flow is 2,000, 3,000, that's 50% of my cash flow just because of the loan terms right there. Man,
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about over $15,000 a year, right? So
yeah.
So the problem is when these conversations are happening, the lenders might not qualify even.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
You were qualified for the loan, and now the numbers changed, and now we all have a problem here, right? Because we're still in this together to a certain extent.
yeah. So now what may happen, worst case scenario, is the lender is going to ask for more equity because in their eyes, the value of that property may have even gone down because the debt service isn't covering anymore. So they're saying, hey, in order to hit this debt service coverage ratio, you need to bring more money down, or else we're not even gonna give you a proposal.
Yeah.
Or your rates are gonna be way higher. They're not gonna be ideal.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some of the tough conversations that are starting to happen, and it. The other thing that is a lot different too right now, and I know it's a little bit different topic, but obviously every other expenses went way up. Taxes,
Yeah. Yeah.
insurance, utilities. I mean, the expenses that are incurring on these investors on all fronts are very real, no doubt.
Trevor, what if I learned my lesson a little bit on this and I was like, why were these 5-year arms a thing? Why was everybody okay with this? What if I came to you this next time and said, hey, I don't want a 5-year fixed. I want a 10-year or more fixed. How does that look for your terms? Like if
Yeah.
do you guys allow for those products? And then what does it change for me?
Yep. So we will do like a 10-year fixed. And the reason why it's like, hey, we're offering a lot of these 5-1 arm per se. That's like a common proposal that I'm giving out today. And the reason that is that 5-year money is where we're getting our cheapest rates, right? So if we want to get the lowest rate, which obviously that's the biggest number, right? Everyone's like, what's your rate? What's your rate? What's your rate? The lowest rate possible right now is at the 5-year money. To put it, I'll just take a look here to put it in perspective. 10-year money compared to 5-year money it's about 0.25% higher. So it's not that much.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But it's about 25 basis points higher than, so if it's like, if 5-year money's at 7%, a 10-year money would be at 7.25%.
7,
So that's the
7.25.
difference.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, if I moved it from, and if I move up 0.25%, it's for 5 more years of fixed, I think that's an interesting conversation for people to have.
Yeah. So then it's choose your risk, right? It's what risk do you want to take? Do you think that if you think interest rates are going to go higher, that's probably a good bet. If you think that interest rates are going to be lower in 3 to 5 years, maybe it's not a good bet.
That's
right?
good.
So it's like, obviously that's $1 million question. No one really knows, but that's where you're wondering. Some people want the certainty, right? If we can make it work on those 10-year fixed, that would have been a smart play 3 to 5 years or 3 years ago, right? That's when they take advantage of that. It's like, are they going to get much lower? Let's lock this in for as long as we possibly can. Yeah. Now it's, I don't think the consensus is that rates are going up. People probably don't think that they're going to fall off the cliff, but at the end of the day, who knows? You don't know. Why did they drop off the cliff in the first place? Well, it's because of a global pandemic. We don't know what's going to happen. And to spend too much time trying to guess, you can do that if you want or not. But at that point, it's what game do you want to play? What risk are you comfortable with?
That makes sense, man. And just to add on to that real quick, do you guys even let's say, Trevor, I got this property. I just love it. I'm going to own this when I'm retired. And I tell you, I want to lock my loan in. I want to really go low risk. Do you guys even do a product where you can lock in a 30-year interest rate?
No, not on the commercial side.
Okay. What's the longest you'll do? Is it 10?
So we have a 15-year option, but even at that, the rates are not as favorable.
Yeah.
We kind of start getting outside that. It's considerably more than like that 5-year, 10-year. It's more than a quarter basis point jump. I know a lot of what you guys talk about on your side of the world is like house hacking, and that's a powerful thing about that too, is that's where you can get those 30-year fixed, right? If you're gonna go live in it, if you're gonna live in a duplex, if you're gonna own or occupy one of those property like that, then you could get into something like a 30-year fixed. Or if your primary residence, that people bought their home, they live in it for 3-4 years, they have to upgrade. Instead of selling it, they can turn that into a rental, and that's on a fixed, a 30-year fixed. But if you're looking to add just an investment property, we're the 30-year fixed option is just not available, unfortunately.
Gotcha. No, that's good to know. It's interesting to hear how you guys got to work on your end of the table. Trevor, you're an investor yourself. You're a guy that kind of can see both sides of the table, the lending side, and then also you're in the game. What are ways that you're navigating any of, potentially your interest rates that are going to come due and have to change things up? Like, are you making any moves in your investment property to kind of be prepared for this change in your terms?
Yeah, I think so. When I look at my personal operations, the biggest thing that's changed for me in the last year is more like on the tracking side and
Mm,
just operating as efficiently as possible.
yeah.
Because when money was cheap and expenses were way less, it's like, yep, this works. Let's go. Let's go. Like, you're not paying as much attention to what's coming in, what's going out. And
Yeah.
like, I've learned the lesson the hard way. So now I'm paying a lot closer attention to that. And I think that's going to be the theme of the next, 3 years is like, I think those days are over. This real estate market that we're entering is going to create very good operators. It's going to have to,
Mm,
or else it doesn't
good
make
point.
sense. If you're a bad operator, if you're not efficient, if you're just blowing money on whatever, not closely managing your expenses, your repairs, all those things, it doesn't make sense for you to invest in real estate. You could go
Yeah.
into, you know, high percentage yields money market or something like that with no risk, no headache. It doesn't make sense. So for me, that's the biggest thing is like I'm tracking all of these things and
Yes.
down to everything, my supplies, so I have some short-term rentals, so it's even a little bit more on the management side, but tracking everything as far as cleaning, as far as supplies, and I'm knowing all my numbers.
Yeah.
And I think the increase in expenses has led me to do that, but also being on this side of the table now too. If you're going to your lender and you're trying to get a loan and you don't know what's going on, like,
Yeah.
good luck. You have to tell the narrative. So the numbers are one thing, but what I'm learning on this side is it's more than just like it's black and white. Like being able to tell the narrative and understand what's going on, it is huge to the lenders.
Yeah.
So you need to if you don't understand your business and know everything that's happening, be able to project and tell the story of why this is the way it is. Um, those conversations with the lenders are going to be difficult.
Yes.
On the
Yeah.
on the on the flip side, if you can tell the story of all your numbers, it's gonna save you time and money for sure when those notes come due. So it's helping you on both sides. It's helping you become a better operator, but you're gonna turn into someone that lenders want to do business with, and they're more
Yes.
willing to and able to do business with. So I think, yeah, that's the theme is you're just gonna have to become a better operator to deal with
Hmm.
these expenses are not little. These
Yeah.
increases are not minor. When you talk about insurance, taxes, utilities, interest rates, it is a big, big difference. So yeah, that's kind of the big difference on my side.
Yeah, that's so good, man. And I think there's even two ways to attack that too. I think the days of sitting with an investment property and never raising the rents that's over, because you gotta increase the income as well, and then if you're leaning into the expenses, we've done a ton of that on our side too. I love that you brought that up. This season is making really great efficient operators. We've started putting in smart thermostats at properties so we can better control the energy efficiency for utility tracking, man.
Yeah,
We've started to work with our tenants to bill back for some of those utilities and share ownership to make our books look better. We've actually hired bookkeeping services, professional bookkeeping services, just as another eye. So when we go to lenders, we can have a very professional, here's the exact black and white data. All of these things are seeds that have been planted from this new season of real estate investing. So I
absolutely.
love, there's a lot of doom and gloom out there, but you guys, if you lean into some of these valleys and hills, I think it can make us really great investors. That's what I'm hearing Trevor say. So that's a cool point, man.
No doubt. Yep, I'm with you there. It's for the better. After implementing these things, a couple of things that you just touched on, when if we do get a little release and things get a little bit easier per se again.
Yeah.
It's going to make us,
Oh man.
it's going to make those days much better even in the long run.
That's the key. There is an opportunity for massive wins if the crystal ball shakes it out where we get a big drop and there's some refinancing happen. Think of the position you'll be in after that. And so that's an encouragement for you to really be operating and leaning into operations, leaning into tracking style activities like Trevor mentioned. Trevor, this is great conversation, man. I'm going to let you get back to your day. Thanks for being on the show, and thanks for providing your insight, brother.
Cool. Appreciate it, Kyle. Have a good day, man.
Take care. All right. We loved having that conversation with Trevor Schmidt of American Federal Bank. You guys, I thought he brought such great insight into what this season really is. It's making efficient, well-operated businesses for investors. It's making us better. And I think if you look at it that way and you lean into increasing income, if you lean into lowering your expenses and tracking, like he said, I think there's nothing that can really stop us, especially when things turn in our favor again when it comes to borrowing money. You guys, Trevor Schmidt is an amazing commercial lender in our community. So if you have questions, we want to put his info in the show notes. You can find it there. And if you want to reach out to him or have any needs in that commercial space, definitely want to tee him up. We're so thankful that he had the conversation with us. Okay, well, we're going to get to the end of the show here. I want to share a little tool that we use in our world. You guys, I'm a big fan of hacks. I'm a big fan of technology, implementing tools in your life to make things easier, make things more efficient, and make things and progress your goals is what I would like to say. And so this one's in terms of saving. Okay, so much of what we do in real estate investing, so much of what we do in real estate purchasing for personal property or vacation homes is saving money. And saving money is such a blah topic, and it seems painful. You guys, the key to forming the skill around saving can literally make you an unstoppable force when it comes to wealth creation, when it comes to getting the things you want, hitting your goals. It's not as much about making more money. It's about keeping more of your money. And so I have a lot of passion around that. One of the apps that my wife and I use for saving is called Qapital. Qapital with a Q. Qapital. Qapital. You guys, this app is a simple savings app. It connects with one of your bank accounts, and it does automatic transfers and versions of saving that you get to set. And you get to put your goals, you get to put a picture to your goals. And when my wife and I decide each month, hey, do we want to save any of our budget, or do we want to put money towards something? And the worst thing that we've done, I've learned this the hard way, is to keep that in a savings account that's tied to my, right next to my checking account, because it's so easy to go and transfer that back into my checking, and it's not actually savings. Whereas what Qapital helps us do is slowly save towards something, whether it's $25 a month or $10 a week, and then it goes out of my checking, almost like when I go and out to eat or when I'm paying for a subscription service. That money's gone from my account. And where does it go? It's not going and it's gone forever. It's going to my savings bucket in my Qapital app. The cool part right now, I'll just be transparent. Right now, my Qapital app, I have about 5 different savings buckets that I'm doing for. One's an elk tag. One is I put my taxes that I want to save in here. One is for a Front Row Dads, which is a membership that I'm a part of, a community that I'm a part of. I put all these things and save towards them each month. And you guys, my totals right now, it just adds up and it totals at the top. It's an amazing thing. You guys have 7,425 is my balance in my Qapital right now. It's just cool to see that money's been slowly moved over there and it's building up and it builds up and builds up. And then I'm able to transfer it back when I need it. You guys, so want to give you that tool, Qapital. Check out the app. We're going to put the link in the show notes so you have the ability to check that app out and maybe use it for yourself, use it for good. Guys, savings is a superpower. I hope you lean into that. You guys, that's our show. We're so thankful you tuned in. Guys, don't forget to become subscribers on our newsletter. If you like the show, if you like the chat with Trevor, like this video, subscribe to our page. That helps us on the algorithm to get this out to more people and engage and hopefully talk about more of the problems you want us to cover on the Midwest Invest Report. We are thankful, and we will see you next week on the Midwest Invest Report.